Well, good morning, and thank you for joining me on the Joyce Rogers Show. It has been some time since I've been in the studio, so I'm glad to be back. And on today, I have a special guest with me, Judge Sheva Sims, District Court, I believe, D. City Court D. Okay, and just nice to have you on the broadcast. Good morning, how are you?
I am blessed. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Certainly, you know, I've been following your track record, and I know a lot of things going on with Sheva Sims, Judge Sims. And first, before we get into that, I want you to sort of tell our viewing audience something about yourself.
Well, I am a judge, as you just said, on Strickland City Court. I was elected November the 19th, 2011. I was sworn in December the 2nd, 2011, and had my investiture January the 27th of 2012. So it's been about a year, 10 months, and about 11 days.
Okay, and I'm just curious myself, what was the motivation of your wanting to be a judge?
By the grace of God, this is what God wanted me to do. Most people know that I was headed in another direction, but this is what God had planned for me, and here I am, and I acquiesce to the will of God. It's so nice when we do that.
Oh, yes, okay. Now, I know you did a broadcast with me earlier, and you made mention that, kind of alluded to, that you had perhaps won a previous election, and rather than contest that, God, I believe, spoke to you and said, Sheva, I have something better for you perhaps than that. And you were faithful to that calling, and that's how you sort of also decided to run for judge.
Well, I didn't win it. I lost the election by 6 votes.
I know.
But God brought me close enough. For my perspective was, God brought me close enough for victory and said, not yet.
Okay.
He had something else for me, and here I am. So.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, very good, very good. Now tell us what's going on with you and your community. I believe you're doing Know Your Legal Rights.
Yes.
So what's going on with that, and how did this come about?
Well, I started seminars. I believe the first one was in February of 2012, the month after my investiture. This is what I stated that I was going to do when I was campaigning. Most people have told me that people say they're going to do something when they campaign, and when they win, they don't do it.
Campaign promises are easily broken sometimes.
But mine has been fulfilled. This is what I said that I was going to do when I was campaigning, and I've done over 20 of them to date. The next one is upcoming. Yes.
Okay, it's really going to be this evening.
Okay, yes. Wednesday, October 16th, yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, so when you go out to your public, what are you telling them, and are they, putting questions to you, perhaps having you to respond to them on the spot, or do you have something prepared that you kind of, give the audience?
Well, all of my seminars are open for questions either during and or after the seminar. I give an overview. A lot of people, when they first go to Shreveport City Court, they feel different ways about going into court, such a district courthouse. They don't know what to do. They feel overwhelmed. So I explain the workings of the courthouse. I explain that we have 4 judges, Chief Judge Charles Kelly, Judge Lee Irvin, Judge Pamela Tier, and myself. And I let them know which districts, what divisions we're in, and explain to them what's going on in the courthouse, what's the breakdown of the courthouse, and kind of what happens in the courthouse on the different types of cases that we handle. We have a small claims docket, we have a peace fund docket, we have a civil docket, we have a criminal docket, and a trial docket. With our civil docket, before I was elected, the amount that the jurisdictional amount, which is the highest amount a judge can award if the case warranted in civil cases, was $25,000. But I worked very hard along with my colleagues in the legislature in Baton Rouge, and we got that amount increased to $35,000. The judge signed the bill in May of this year. The governor signed the bill in May of this year, I believe May the 31st.
Okay, what kind of feedback are you getting from the seminars, from the participants?
The participants actually fill out a little document afterwards if they choose to, and let us know how they liked it, 1 to 5, the normal thing. And I get mostly 5s. Every now and then I get a few 4s. Once or twice I've gotten all 1s because they didn't understand, because they told me afterwards that one was the opposite.
Okay.
Yes, and how it was the greatest. So they explained that they intended to put all 5s. I didn't know. They said they didn't know, but the response has been great from various politicians through many of the individuals on the street and many of the ministers who have allowed me to do it at their edifice as well as in other places.
I was going to say, and where are these seminars held? I know there have been some at some of the local churches,
Yes.
and even the one that's upcoming on this evening. And what are some of the other venues you've gone to?
This evening will be at Project Love.
Mhm.
However, I've had it, Miss Lola May set it up at the Willis Lighting Center. I've had it in various libraries, both of them I believe in Hollywood, as well as different neighborhood associations and funeral homes.
Okay.
If you can imagine having them in a funeral home, but I've had
I
them
can
at
at
the funeral
Winfield,
home. I've had
because
it-
that's
yes.
rather common.
I've
you know,
had it in
sometimes.
Winfield and I've had it at Good Samaritan.
Good Samaritan.
So I've had it at both of those funeral homes. And if anybody wants me to do it, they usually call my office or call my chambers and my assistant will set it up.
How do you have this kind of time?
I don't know. But I have
God
two-
is able.
I have two beautiful daughters who require
Okay.
time and attention too. One is a senior who's on her way to college. Yay!
Yay.
And my baby girl is at Southfield. I'm going to get it right. She's in the 6th grade at Southfield. She plays basketball. She's a point guard there. My big girl is going to college any day now, and she's excited about it. Unless she stays home, I don't know.
You are a proud mom. And I think the last time you were on the broadcast, we kind of laughed, and you said she was at Southwood, and I think your baby may ask you, like, who's at Southwood?
Southfield,
Yeah, we want to
correct.
give a shout out to Southfield. Yeah.
The Eagles. I need everybody to root for the Eagles.
Okay.
The Southfield
Okay.
Eagles.
Southfield Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
They'll be playing tonight too.
Oh, they're playing
Yes.
tonight. Okay. And who are they playing against?
I believe they're playing against St. Mark.
Okay. What kind of season are they having? We just go in a different
5-0,
direction now.
5-0.
Southfield,
Yes,
5-0.
5-0.
Okay, so your baby a
Yes.
starter?
Yes.
Oh, praise the Lord. So she has an athletic
and a
career,
point guard.
possibly. Point guard.
Yes.
I don't know much about basketball, but that just sounds really good. It sounds like she may be scoring the points.
There's several scores, but she scores too.
Okay, good. Okay, now let's get back to your seminars. Now, generally, what numbers are you looking at in terms of attendance?
The numbers have varied. I did one at ULM. The room was packed at the college at ULM. I've done some with 10 people. I've done some with over 100 people. As you and I know, women who go to church who are worshipers, the 2 or 3 are gathered, you get it done.
Okay.
So, there's been a great turnout more often than not.
Okay, and when they come up, I know they find it very personable, I would imagine, to talk to you on that one-to-one. And what kind of reassurance does that give your constituency?
First of all, generally people don't have an opportunity to speak to a judge one-on-one. So this is a big thing for a lot of people in certain communities who've never had that opportunity. So I'm right there after I explain what's going on with the courthouse, and I have a PowerPoint presentation and I go through a litany of things
Right.
on the civil side as well as the traffic and criminal side in the presentation. After that, if I'm still there, which I usually am, this time I won't because the game is tonight. But I'm always there other than tonight. I ask questions. I'm still there for one-on-one because sometimes people don't want to ask questions in a large forum with everyone there. But I have to remind people that I'm relegated to the questions only about Shreveport City Court.
Right.
We don't handle felonies. We only handle misdemeanors.
Okay.
And misdemeanors are cases up to 6 months in jail or a $500 fine or both, except for a DWI.
What are some of the greatest concerns with your constituency?
Well, a lot of people are concerned about whether or not they have an opportunity for fairness, which they have articulated to me in various seminars, and I assure them that I'm fair. Doesn't matter. I'm fair. Doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is. But I'm fair. That's what God imparted upon me. That's what my dad taught me, that one should be fair, and I'm fair.
Okay, fair and equitable in terms of the system itself or in terms of the individuals in the system. See, because a lot of people find the court system very unfair and unequitable. It's hard for me to say that, but there's no equality there, okay? And with that being the case, what can you bring to the table to give the semblance that there's going to be some fairness in these situations?
Well, most people who have come before me have noticed and have stated and articulated on various instances that I have been fair. I'm fair. It doesn't matter who it is, what their background is, what their financial situation is, what their status is. I treat everybody equally in my courtroom.
So you look at the situation at hand. You don't have to, I'm serious, you look at the information that's given you and you base your decisions based upon that individual and what's before you at that point in time.
Well, all
Pretty much.
judges, the judge rules on the facts, law, and evidence. So those are the three things that the judge looks
Okay.
at. However, when we have cases when individuals' pants are sagging, I know you're familiar with that. That's important. I always take the time to talk to individuals. Judge Latier and presented this program to the other judges, and we all voted on it. Optimum Potential Life Skills class.
Yeah.
Mr. Ron Anderson does in our courthouse, and he does a great job. So there are some people who may not have certain life skills, and because she had the vision, and this is what he has been doing, and she had the vision to ask him to come, and all four judges voted on it wholeheartedly. We're helping the community in that way also. I try to get everybody before they go to court, and even when they're there, Judge Latier and the other judges try to help people and myself while they're there. So we try to work on the whole individuals before as well as during and after, because we have different programs in our courthouse also. I believe in saving somebody if we can save somebody. I don't think we should throw little people, little children away, adults away. I think God has a plan for us.
Yeah, but you know, you're saying something because appearance does make a difference. You know, you can be one of the most intelligent persons or a smart person, but when you go into a certain setting, you have to look like what the system wants you to look like, or perhaps expect you to look like. Because if I come in with my pants sagging, you know, and I'm standing before the judge, I think that might, to some degree, have a negative bearing on perhaps, you know, if there's something questionable, it may go against me simply because of appearance. And I think sometimes young people do not understand that that might affect their ruling, possibly just based upon what, you know, what they're seeing at that point in time. Not necessarily, because of course I'm not a judge, I don't know that, but I do believe it's hard to, and I know one can delete the opinion, but it's hard sometimes to get past what you see and how one is responding to you. It tells me whether or not you're defiant. It tells me whether or not you're interested in helping yourself. If I ask you, young man, pull your pants up, and you want to tell me about, you know about how you want to wear your pants and stuff, that tells me that's an indication of as to your attitude.
Well, sometimes people don't have those skills, which is why the
That's why
Optimal
you're teaching
Potential
them.
Life Skills class is very
With Ron
important.
Anderson.
Right, that Mr. Anderson does. So that's important. What I noticed about, we talked about my baby girl earlier, but my firstborn, Taylor, she takes the time to make sure her presentation is presentable to individuals. She takes the time to take care of herself, as well as some of her friends. So sometimes people think that young people don't do it, young people don't care. She cares, and many of her friends care about how they present themselves, and that's very important in life.
Well, we know that's a generic statement, but I'm speaking about those perhaps that sometimes we see them on the streets, you know, and sometimes now.
And you know, sometimes I've seen young people and I've stopped.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't realize it's how you deliver the message.
Exactly.
Because some people listen and some young people don't. Because a lot of adults deliver the message.
Right,
It's
right.
always in the delivery and the sincerity. I tell everybody, whatever you say, you should be concerned about the delivery and the sincerity. So both those things are very important. So I've seen young people on the street, and I've actually pulled over, and I sit and I talk to them. Why are you dressed that way? What do you want to accomplish by that? Before I even tell them to pull it up, I haven't even gotten to the point of suggesting to them that they should change their presentation.
You know, and that's good. Of course, you have that.
And they listen.
And because you judge, perhaps
they don't know.
I know, but because you are one, you have that sense of caring because you know what you just might see in the court system. Well, I think a lot of us care, but sometimes I think there's a reluctancy for us to actually pull over and speak to a young person and say, you need to
I'm not suggesting that.
I know that's what the point I want to make.
Yes.
So we're not saying do that because you have to know your clientele.
Right, they don't know the consequence
There
of that.
you go.
I explain to them, you know, if you get arrested, or excuse me, if you get pulled over by an officer, and the officer gives an individual citation to go to court on that particular day, that's a fine of $25, which most people know about, but they don't know the court cost. The court cost is an additional $155. So you add that to the 25, that's $180. So I asked a young person, that's almost $200. Do you know what you could have done with $200?
And so what kind of response do you have?
They understand much better.
So it's a wake-up call, so to speak.
And I tell adults, it depends on the delivery of it,
Yes.
how you tell them. Just to say pull it up without more then sometimes that's not enough.
Now, we have a sagging law, don't we?
Yes,
Now,
the
is
ordinance,
this,
yes.
ordinance, okay, is this being enforced? Because,
Yes.
you know, because the way the system says
I
is
see a
very,
lot
is
of
very,
people.
yeah, and I don't see it being enforced perhaps, and not that it should be. But, you know, should I have to tell you something when you know there's an ordinance already saying perhaps it should be this way? You know, sometimes, you know, the,
Well, you probably know, I know, but a lot of young people don't. My daughters know because
Okay.
of me. But
Environment,
a lot of their
perhaps.
friends
Uh-huh.
don't know, so that's why I take the time to do the seminars, to give
Okay,
people
good.
information, to disseminate information to the public that they may or may not to know,
Mhm.
or to explain it.
Yeah.
When a person gets a driving under suspension, they'll go to court and whatever happened at that time. But I explain to individuals in the seminar, if it's something that you can get taken care of, and you can take
Yes.
care of,
Mhm.
take care of it before time.
And you know, it sounds like I'm being a little difficult, and I'm really not. But once again, I know the mindsets of
Yes.
persons out there, because if I think enough of this to make it an ordinance on the books, then that tells me I have some backing, legal backings that I can enforce this if I so desire. And it's whether or not, you know, the judge or the officer is kind enough
Yes.
to overlook that if they so desire.
Well,
but
you know,
go
that
ahead.
the young
Mhm.
people were there for the council meeting when they voted on it, and generally, of course, you know, they're not. It's,
Yes.
if they watch the television to see it and or understand it, which is why I explain it in my
Right,
seminar,
okay.
and I break it down, and this is a problem, and I see a lot of people, so I don't know how often it's enforced, but it is enforced.
Okay, good. And let me say this. Now, are the ones you're talking to at the seminars, are these perhaps some of those persons that are non-compliant? Or are these the ones that are in compliance? See, a lot of times it's like the ones who don't need to know it are the ones who are concerned, and they're going to come and they're going to be very attentive because they want to do the right thing. And sometimes the person who does not know will be the person who didn't make the seminar because they either could not get there, or I'm aware of what was going on, or just didn't think it applied to them because I'm dressed, you know, the way my environment, you know, I dress according to, you know, my peers and so forth. you know.
Well, people understand Shreveport City Court is pretty much, it has been coined as the people's court. We
The
see
people's
people
court, good.
from all walks of life, from one end of the spectrum to the other, from one age class to the other class, from one socio-economical background to the other. But no matter how much a person make it, there's been a millionaire in my courtroom before, or there, people, doesn't matter
Yeah,
what their
okay.
background is, they've been to Shreveport City Court.
Mhm.
Because anybody, in many instances, anyone can get a traffic ticket if
Yeah,
you drive.
that's true, uh-huh.
So we have traffic court. We're the only,
Exactly.
we know, they don't deal with those things in district court that we deal with here. We don't deal with, you know, felonies and stuff like
You
that.
don't
They deal with
overlap,
there.
uh-huh.
Right, except for state misdemeanors, that's what we
Okay.
do overlap.
Okay. Let me ask you this. There used to be a program called teen court. Is that still in place?
Well, juvenile
And I don't
court,
know if you
but
would be
juvenile court
familiar.
is, Judge Stone is there, Judge Matlock, and,
Yes.
and Judge, I forget the chief's name. Anyway, but those are the judges that are at juvenile court, they deal with all issues regarding children.
That's what I was gonna say. And I know at one point in time, that was really making a positive impact upon youngsters because they were coming in and being able to go back and tell their peers they served as judge and they served as the bailiff and the attorneys and so forth. But it gave them that hands-on experience. Your court, with the city court, what programs might you all implement for young people, you know, as a hands-on type program?
Well,
Do you suppose?
Well, we don't see any young people, all the young
Okay.
people go to
the
juvenile
juvenile.
court.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
We, unless they're driving, and generally if they're driving at maybe 16 or 17,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
anybody younger
So no
than that.
traffic fines?
Yeah, we'll see the 16-year-old,
Okay,
the
that's-
17-year-old,
okay.
if they're driving generally.
Mhm.
Other than that, we pretty much don't see young people, they all go to juvenile court. And I think Judge Stone as well as Judge Matlock are doing great things. Oh, Paul Young,
Yes,
the other judge.
that's
Chief
right,
Judge,
that's right, uh-huh.
Chief Judge Paul Young, they're doing some great things over there with young people. And I believe Judge Stone has gotten an award not too long ago.
Okay, so now, so will you be implementing, and I know once again, you're doing Know Your Legal Rights.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. So I don't want to get away from that. But is this just your own, this is your baby, this is something that you wanted to do because you saw a need, right?
I care about the community. Even though Judge Creighton does the seminar, his
Right.
is a little different, it's geared toward felonies and et cetera. I'm the only one doing the seminar, I'm the only one who's ever done the seminar, and I go in all walks of life. I've gone in the Jewish community, and I've done it over there in addition to doing it well in other places where I've done it in Job Corps. So I try to go everywhere I can. And if anybody wants me to do this somewhere, they can call my chambers.
Okay, and so you don't target your audience per se.
No.
It's just whomever would like to know, whomever needs the information or would
Wherever
like
there's
the
a need,
information.
they
Okay,
call
you
me.
provide the service.
Yes.
Okay, good. What do you want people to know about Know Your Legal Rights? I mean, once again, I know it's beneficial to the community. I know it's helping people. But if you had to just really, what's the mainstay of that program?
Well, I just want people to be informed. I want people to make better decisions. A lot of times when individuals are on the street with an officer has what's called a zone of safety. I want people to know that when the officer's doing something that's very important, he's protecting the citizens, he's protecting himself, and he's dealing with whatever he's trying to deal with on the scene. So I want individuals to make sure that they're kind and courteous to officers, because a lot of times people are not. It will reduce a lot of the things that could go to the left. The individual is kind and courteous. Let the officer do his or her job, because they're doing a lot. They work very hard, and they're
And their safety, even that.
Right, their safety as well as ours. So they have what's called a zone of safety. If you're concerned, you can see whatever you want to see across the street, even if it's your little baby. Because I understand parents want to go on the scene, but at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Everybody may be arrested, so you've helped no one.
Okay.
So make better decisions. Listen, when you come to the seminar, I will provide a packet that you can take with you. Individuals can take with them and read it at any later date and learn some more too. Because I can't cover everything, so I try to give just just enough, like an appetizer.
Okay, so you're excited about this, I can
Yes.
tell. And that's good, because I would imagine you are greatly impacting the community. And I think it's wonderful when persons can say that an elected official has my back.
Yeah.
They are actually concerned about me, not just because they got elected, but because they have a platform and they made some promises, and they're going to keep that promise.
Yes.
Because integrity
Yes.
means a lot.
Yes.
If you're true to your promise in this case, I think people do think you're going to be fair
That's what
if
my
they
dad
come
taught me.
before your court.
Right. Most people in town knew my dad. And he said you have to help somebody, just like the song that we know about in the Baptist church.
Right.
If I can help somebody, and that's what I do.
Okay, I think we have like 3 or 4 minutes left, and I want
It
you
went by fast.
time goes
No,
quickly,
no.
yeah, because it's a lot going on. I want you to take 2 or 3 minutes and just look in this front camera and
All
just
right.
kind of give people a synopsis of everything you want them to know and what you consider your high points to be at this point in time, serving as judge.
Well, I want to, first of all, thank you for taking the time to allow me to be here to extend this information to the community. I appreciate it. The seminar, again, is tonight, Wednesday, October the 16th at Project Love on Fairfield. I will provide a lot of information. I have a PowerPoint presentation now, so I'm very excited about that. If there's anything a person can do before they go to court, I try to prepare them and give them information that they can utilize, and they can make sure they take care of some things before they go to court, and which is very important. I want everybody to change some things about themselves. I want them to be kind. I want them to be courteous and have a more positive outlook in life. I understand we all have good days, we all have bad days, but we can get through it.
Okay, another question. I hear God coming out of this. I hear Christianity. I hear Jesus. Okay, now what church are you affiliated with?
I am a member of Green Baptist Church. Dr. Aaron Dolines is my pastor.
Okay, and I know you've spoken to your family, and I know that's very important too. How is Christ in your life, and in terms of your career, your job?
Christ is in everything that I do. I want to make sure that my decisions are fair, I'm impartial, and I make sure that I pray and ask God to always lead and guide me to make the right decisions.
Okay, good. And having said that, you know you're going to make the right decisions. Have you ever made decisions perhaps that some persons were not necessarily pleased with, but you know you did the right thing?
I always strive to do the right thing. Generally, I don't hear people coming back to me.
Well, not
after the fact.
necessarily to you, but I'm saying, from the reaction perhaps in court.
I get a very favorable response in court, so that's a good thing. Even when I rule against someone, because if I'm trying to direct them in the right path so they can change their lives, people receive that more often than not.
Judge Sheva Sims. I have thoroughly enjoyed having you on the broadcast today. Bless you. Because I see there's a sincerity there. I see that you are concerned about your constituency.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think people should really say that, you know, whatever other position you could have possibly had, God is good.
God is good.
He knew the place you were supposed
God
to be.
knows.
And having said that, we wish you the very best luck serving your tenure as judge. And we know that you are going to be fair and impartial to all the persons that have a need to come before your court. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. You are so welcome. Okay? You all join me next time for the Joyce Rogers Show. I've been talking to Judge Sheva Sims. And go out to the seminar on tonight. It's going to be at Project Love at what time?
At 6 o'clock on Fairfield.
6 o'clock on Fairfield Avenue. See you there and come prepared with some questions. You
Yes,
all be
please.
blessed. Oh, please, yes. She said, please come with questions, things that you want to know. Be blessed, and we'll see you next week on the Joyce Rogers Show, the very best talk show in the Arklatex.